Genetically modified crops are crops that are inserted with genes from other organisms, in some cases unrelated species, to bring beneficial traits. Examples of these traits are resistance to insects and diseases, herbicide tolerance, and enhanced nutrients. There are 173 parties to the Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety who are committed to ensure safe transfer, handling, and use of living modified organisms including GM crops. Currently, 71 countries have approved different types of GM crops, either for cultivation or consumption, or both. 26 countries have banned the adoption of GM crops. The adoption involves stringent regulatory processes and approvals to minimize risks and to ensure they are managed well. The Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety is an international agreement which aims to ensure the safe handling, transport, and use of living modified organisms, also known as genetically modified organisms (GMOs), resulting from modern biotechnology that may have adverse effects on biological diversity and human health. Sri Lanka signed the Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety in 2000 and ratified it in 2004. To comply with this protocol, a country or party to the protocol must have proper regulatory framework to ensure safety of GMOs. Sri Lanka is strengthening its experts, procedures to approve, and facilities to test and analyze. The Ministry of Environment, which is the focal point for the protocol, is committed to ensure the safety of GMOs that are imported or developed in the country. The Ministry of Environment formulated the National Biosafety Framework and the National Policy on Biosafety. Both of these documents obtained cabinet approval in 2005. Going further and strengthening the legal framework, the Legal Draftsman's Department drafted the Biosafety Act with consultation of the Ministry of Environment and other relevant stakeholders. This act is currently being enacted. The biosafety regulatory system in Sri Lanka is governed by the National Biosafety Framework and the National Policy on Biosafety. Once enacted, the Biosafety Act will be the main legal instrument for genetically modified organisms and biosafety in Sri Lanka. This will ensure the safety of Sri Lankans and our environment. The National Biosafety Framework identifies the existing legislation and their relevance to biosafety. The Plant Protection Act, Food Act, Fauna and Flora Protection Ordinance, Fisheries and Aquatic Resource Act are some of the laws in Sri Lanka that can be used to ensure safety to our environment, biodiversity and human health. The National Biosafety Framework outlines the administrative and operational procedure for handling applications related to GMOs. According to this procedure, the National Competent Authority for Biosafety is the central body for handling applications and making decisions related to GMOs. The NCAP is the Central Environmental Authority, which is identified in the Draft Biosafety Act. The approval procedure is composed of a mandatory risk assessment by sectoral competent authorities. These authorities include the Department of Agriculture, Department of Health Services, Department of Animal Production and Health, Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, Department of Wildlife Conservation and Forest Department. Public voice is important for approvals of GMOs. Any new approvals will be announced to the public in all 3 local languages to ensure public participation in decision-making. This component, which allows the public to share their comments, is also mandatory in accordance with the Cartagena Protocol. Control of import, labeling, and sale of genetically modified GM food is regulated in Sri Lanka by the Food Regulations 2006, under the Food Act, No. 26 of 1980. These regulations indicate mandatory risk assessment prior to approval of GM food by the Chief Food Authority of Sri Lanka. Information related to the biosafety regulatory process and application forms related to GMOs can be obtained through the Sri Lanka BCH website at lk.biosafetyclearinghouse.net. With all these regulatory instruments in place, the public can be rest assured that human health and environmental safety related to GMOs is taken seriously by our government.
For more information on biosafety in Sri Lanka, visit biosafetyclearinghouse.net.